Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you my live paper crafting class. It's Wednesday, April 17th at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. Welcome to my craft room, you guys. It's become a mess in here. I mean, you don't see it behind me right now because I shoved it all over there, but I'm in the process of cleaning out the stuff that's retiring and bringing in new stuff and putting everything in place. And so I was having a hard time finding my cardstock that is retiring. And then I remembered last minute, that's why I'm a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. Grabbed it from over there and it's here now. We're going to show you some Outgoing In Colors. The family of colors are called In Colors because they're trendy and they're the latest thing, and they last for 2 years. So we are saying goodbye to the 2022 through 24 In Colors, and I'm going to show those to you today, along with the new In Colors that are replacing them. So they last for 2 years. The next year's catalog brings in another set. So always there is 2 different sets of In Colors, okay? So we currently are keeping the 2023 through 25 In Colors, and we're letting go of the 2022 through 24, but we're bringing in the 24 through 26, okay? Lots of numbers. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to confuse anybody, but just wanted to clear that up in case anybody's new to Stampin' Up! Products and doesn't know what I was just referring to. So the In Colors are our focus today, along with some really, really beautiful papers. Stampin' Up! Artists, the ones that design the products, are just amazing. Some of the papers that have been released in the last few years have been these beautiful watercolor scenes. Winter Frost or Something Frost was one of the first ones, I believe. And from there, it has just been like, boom, everybody loves this paper. Typically it's 6x6 and it's perfect for card size. So we're going to be focusing on the what is it called? Meandering Meadows designer paper, which is still current, I hope. Sometimes, I mean, I'm going to have to say I hope because some papers are in our online only, like you can see them online. You can purchase them, however, but they're shown online only. And so we cross our fingers that things don't disappear, but I'm hoping that it's still there. Meandering Meadows, I'm going to show that off to you. And it really pairs perfectly with these Outgoing colors. So I'm going to show you some beautiful cards. If you have this paper, great. If you don't, you do have some time to get it, but you know, who knows? So just grab it up, order today. And then also you'll want to make sure that you get in on the retiring, oops, there we go. Can you see them all? The retiring In Colors, because they go perfectly with this paper. Let's welcome a couple special people. Well, we're all special, but I want to welcome my moderators, Lisa Marshall on Facebook and Trisha Josephs on YouTube. Normally I say Trisha's name first. I got a little mixed up there. Trisha Josephs is here to answer your questions because after the live is done on YouTube, I can't actually go back in and click on comments and respond to them. So she does that for me while we're live. And then Lisa Marshall is on Facebook and she does the same thing, but it's just great to have a moderator in both areas, even though I can come back to Facebook comments. So we're excited to have you gals and everybody here. Welcome to our newbies. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, like, comment, get in on the fun. We do prize drawings at the end for those people who are commenting during the live. So chime in. All right. I think I did all of our housekeeping stuff today. I'm going to present to you the In Colors, Outgoing and Incoming, while I demonstrate and put together some clean and simple and beautiful cards with a couple different packs of designer paper. I mentioned one of them, but I have other new products that I'm going to show you. Before we start that, can I please bring you to my desktop because I want to remind you of a card, a couple cards, and I couldn't, this is another thing I was looking for at the last minute. Before the live began, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything in my room right now. I was looking for my other card that has the, I'll show you, this design, okay? Do you remember this a few weeks back? It's like the black embossing technique, right? So I'm gonna pull out some grid paper because I know I have a scrap that we can get dirty here. Just pull out a scrap of grid paper And I'm going to show you that I learn from you guys too. Okay, so this isn't part of today's tutorial or whatever, but I have to bring you back to this card because I learned a great idea. Okay, remember when I was saying that the firm foam pads, not ones like this that are on kind of a fabric kind of pad, like this is a fabric type of pad, right? A felt pad, I think is what they call it. So that's our black. This is the black that Stampin' Up! Carries. It's Tuxedo Memento ink. And this is our white ink. Now, when you get our white ink, oops, hang on. When you get our white ink, it's actually a blank ink pad. So a shout out to all of you. There were like several of you that introduced me to this idea. Thank you, thank you. So it's a blank ink pad and then you get a re-inker with it and you can ink it up. Because it's a blank firm foam ink pad, the foam ink pads are the ones that work great for going across the surface when you're going to add that last layer of color. Whether it's a dark green, like the Mossy Meadow, which is what I did on top of this one to make the inside colors pop, or whether it's basic gray. But the Tuxedo Black was just, it gave kind of a fibrous look. So we went away from that during that live and didn't show that. But someone said to take that white ink pad, so it still says white here, I'm going to somehow change it to say black. But I did just put the black label because you get like labels on the bottoms of your ink pads. I took the one that's just black and I put it on there and I filled it with our Tuxedo Black ink. Now I kind of overfilled it. If you overfill an ink pad, you can take your block, or you could take like the a spoon, like a plastic spoon, or if you have that little tool for filling the white ink pad, but you can take and run it across and it'll pick up any excess ink that you might have. Now this one is pretty cleaned up now. I don't have a lot of, but yesterday, or 2 days ago when Teresa was here, my helper, we were doing this and this had like just a whole glob of ink on it. So I think the pad is ready to go. All right, yes, you need to do it, Shirley. It's so cool. I'm so excited that I have this now so that I can stamp with a black foam pad. It just gives a different look. So let's go ahead and grab our tissue. I did have one set aside here. And you just kind of start really as flat as you can. If you go back to the video, and what post was that? That was from my, and I do have it up here, March 27th blog post. In fact, here, let's just bring you there for a quick minute. Okay, this is the technique, the day that I did it. It's March 27th, blackout embossing. And there's a video, so if you want to go back in my video stash, you can. But here is the look. Do you see how that one is black and gray? It just didn't come out right. But I put it together with the card anyways. You can see the black and the gray kind of mixed in there. And then I think I just did this one with gray. I don't remember. But just a really, really fun technique. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in a bit and play. Okay, and then we'll go to the cards. Okay, so you're going to take your tissue just to hang on, and you're going to go pretty flat to the surface, and you'll just rub across and look. Oh my gosh, it really pops now. I just really wanted that look, and it's beautiful. Oh, stunning, right, you guys? So I have to look for those cards, and then I'll look for those cards, and then I'll put together another one. But yeah, it's just so much richer with the black ink for this particular layer. I love it. So there we go. It really pops with that. There you go. Ta-da! Okay, another thing I wanted to tell you is if you watched my last live, which was this weekend, because I do lives occasionally for other things too. If you watched that, I got to the end and I wanted to thank the person who gave me this beautiful mug, and I messed up. And that is the reason why I messed up is because I typically, when I get gifts or cards or whatever, I read through them. But when I'm doing my live, it's a couple months later or a month later or whatever, sometimes even a week later, and my mind is very forgetful. So I just want to say a big thank you to Marie Wellington. She also gave me this gorgeous pocket card that I did share during it, but I didn't read the little notes, and there she says, enjoy the mug. So thank you, Marie, for that. Okay, we are going to go on to some creating. Let me set these guys over here. See, it's just going to get messier and messier. So for our card, we are going to start with, and this is a very simple, clean, but beautiful card. You guys, you're going to love this. So it's kind of like stepping out into a beautiful scene, because the way that the card is put together, it gives you the feeling that you're in you're looking out on a doorway or a window or something. So we're going to we're going to prep 2 card bases at the same time. I'm just checking my fingers to make sure I have no black on them. And we're going to use our light scoring blade. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. The incoming colors are beautiful. That is so true. Okay, so we're bringing the edge of our cardstock here to the 4 1/4 inch mark. And we're making sure that this here is right up to the top of our trimmer, right up against this. If you're a beginning crafter, these cards are for you, for sure. You're going to make stunning cards and impress people. If you're an advanced crafter, paper crafter, this is a great way to make some simple and quick cards that are still stunning, but you don't have to go through all of the layers and all that. So we're going to score or fold on the score line so that we've got our card folded in this direction. Let me grab my bone folder. I like to use my bone folder to emphasize the creases. Then you look to make sure if the cardstock is not lined up exactly, you want to have, like, let's say it looks like this. You want to have that to the back, but we don't have that issue here. So our cardstock was cut kind of precisely there. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our beautiful, and this is Tahitian Tide. It's a gorgeous blue that is leaving us so sad. We're going to trim that, and because I want to make 2 of these in the future, maybe. No, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut at 2 1/4 inches. So really, if you were just making one, it doesn't have to be 2 1/4 by 11. It can be 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now on the little sheet, I'm going to pull that up. Did I pull that up for you guys yet? I'm just going to refer to it, and then I'll show it to you in a minute. But on that sheet, it does say that this piece here can be 5 1/2 inches tall, or it can be 5 1/4 inches tall. And that's because on a couple of the cards for each set, you're going to see an embossed layer. So not only do we have a white base, but we have a layer, and I will just grab one and cut one now, a layer of white in between. So let's cut that now. That's going to be 4 inches. So now I'm at the 4-inch mark, and I'm going to use the dark blade, and we're going to trim, and then we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to cut, because we cut 1/4 inch off in that other direction, we're going to cut 1/4 inch off in this direction. So not 5 1/2 anymore, 5 1/4. And that is the reason I say this can be 5 1/2 or 5 1/4. If we trimmed off 1/4 inch, we would have the perfect layer to go on top of that. Next, and I'm going to use this later, so we'll set that over there. Next, we're going to bring in some scraps of white, and I have those here. All of these cards, by the way, will fit into our medium size envelopes. So you just need a little pack of envelopes too. And let's go ahead and use our scrap of white. We only need one of those for now. And we're going to stamp on one piece, and we're going to die cut it. And then with another section of that piece, we're going to punch. Now, if you are a beginning crafter, you don't have to invest in it all. You can instead get like the 2-inch circle punch and this punch, and they layer wonderfully. They might have a slightly bigger gap when you layer them together than the dies that I'm using. I'll be using some circle dies to pair with the 2 3/8 inch punch. Did I say 2 3/4? I meant 2 3/8. Let's bring in our machine. So if you are into die cutting, you can take and use the already current stylish shapes dies. And I'll show those to you. Those are awesome. That's what they look like. I'll just take those out of my sleeve, and we're going to grab the one that is the third from the largest. And this one measures a little over 2 inches. It is 2 and about 1/8. Okay, so that's why when I say the 2-inch circle punch, you would, have a slightly bigger gap between the two layers, but it's not much. 2 1/8 versus 2 inches. So we're going to use this 2 1/8 inch one. And at the same time, since I want to save on time, I am going to introduce you to this set of dies. This is one of our newer ones that you won't be able to get until May 1st unless you are a current demonstrator or somebody that signs up. This one's called Spotlight on Nature, and you can see we get 3 different sets of circles. I'm going to go ahead and I'll cut out this one here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to cut out the other one because this one might take some time to kind of get all the little fringy pieces out. So we'll do this one here. All right. So we're going to cut 2 circles with this. This one's going to be for the other card that I'll show you in a minute. And then this one is the one we need now. We'll lay them right next to each other. We still have some room for punching our 2 3/8 inch circle punch. Lay those down. You can put some like Post-it tape or Post-it notes or a really low-tack washi tape or low-tack tape on there to hold it in place. But because we're not trying to center it around anything, because we actually have clear stamps. I told you to stamp first, didn't I? I said stamp first and then die cut. We have clear stamps, the photopolymer ones, the ones you can see through. So I guess I wasn't worried about it. But if you don't, you'll want to stamp first and then position your die around the stamped section and die cut it. And that's when you'll use your tape to hold it in place. Silly me. Okay, so we have a couple of circles. This one here we'll save for later. And this is the one we need for this card here. Nice little stitching around it. And then we'll use this scrap for our punching. So, thank goodness for that table back there. So now we're going to punch, and with our punches, there's just this little locking mechanism. That way you can keep and store them flat. You just push that open like that and punch it out. Okay, and I always punch upside down so I can see where I'm punching and make the most of my cardstock. We've got our 2 layers. Next, we're going to stamp. We're bringing in Wonderful Thoughts. This is a beautiful sentiment stamp set that is current and it's carrying over. That means it's not going away. It's called Wonderful Thoughts, and we're going to use the sentiment that says Thinking of You. So I will just grab that out. See how they're clear? You can see directly through them. It's really awesome. And we'll mount that onto a block. I mount it like I don't even look at the edges of my block. For those of you that are new to my channel, don't do that. Don't mount it so that it's straight or whatever, because then you're going to be worried about how straight your block is as you're stamping instead of how straight your image is. And your image is what you should be looking at. We're going to take our Tuxedo Black Memento ink, either pad. We could use the firm one or we could use this one, right? The firm foam. I'm so excited about that. And we'll just center over the top. You can see how I'm just looking, eyeballing right over the top and stamping it down. It's a sentiment stamp set, so I don't like have real solid images on here. I guess I forgot to bring my Stampin' Pierce mat in. For clear photopolymer stamps like this, it's best to have, in fact, here it's staying there. It's best to have the Stampin' Pierce mat, because it gives you a real firm, even image. But I wasn't too worried about it because it's a sentiment stamp. Sorry about that. I forget it all the time. You guys that have watched me for a long time, you know that. I'm so bad at that. We're going to add this to our layer, white on white. Now, why are we going directly on? Because white on white is beautiful, for one thing. We could do dimensionals, but instead, I'm going to have the dimensionals underneath this part. So let's take our dimensionals, which are these really fun hexagon shaped stickers. We have large and small ones, and we have black ones too, so that your image can hide. And we'll just put 3 on the back side like that, and we'll set that over here. Now let's bring in the beautiful paper. This gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Obviously I have bits and pieces of it, but it is like little watercolor paintings. Isn't it beautiful, you guys? It's stunning, stunning stuff. Okay, so let's just kind of breeze through here so you can see a bunch of it. And you can see the back side has more of a B side to it, right? Not as detailed of a design. Flowers, scenes, just stunning. Oops. Oh, I got them all. Okay, so let's take this one here and let's just trim off 2 inches on the side here. There it is, trimmer. Like this. And if you want to, you can go in even further, which is what I did on my sample card. But to make the most of your paper, you could still have a couple more cuts here. You could have 3 cards made from 1 paper, just like that. So we'll move all the rest of these out of the way for now. Set those over here and bring in our Tahitian Tide, which I think really brings out that blue, that light blue in the flower. Let's zoom in. Hence the sweater color I'm wearing today. Okay, this is a little long because the paper is 6 by 6. So we're going to trim it, and you can trim it with your trimmer. You can trim it with your paper snips. I'm going to trim it with my trimmer, and I'm going to get rid of the part down here. Oh, I don't know which section I'm using. Which one should I use? Oh gosh, we could try them all out. So let's do this. Let's just trim all of them at 5.5 inches. Okay. And this one, you know what? I'm going to trim it in this direction instead, because in fact, I'll just do a little bit here and a little bit here, because I really, really think that I would be cutting into too much of the flowers if I cut all of it off from the bottom. So we have different scenes that we can try out. Let's lay this paper onto our card base. I'm just using seal adhesive, but if you want to, you can use multi-purpose liquid glue if you're a glue fan. And we'll just lay this on here about 3/8 of an inch from the left edge, like so. This will be on top, like that, and we can move it up and down depending on where we want to cover up the scene, okay? Aren't these papers gorgeous? So if I did this paper here, I might want to have it covered like that. If I had this paper like that, I could go down even lower to really show off those beautiful blue flowers. On this one, let's try it out. So with each paper strip, you get a different look. I guess I would go lower because I want to see, it looks like almost a lake back there. I'm not sure. Let's use this one just because it's completely different than the one that I'm going to show you as a sample. I won't have a photograph of this one on my blog post though, just to warn you. Sometimes I try to copy, well, all the time, I try to copy exactly what I did for my first sample, because that way when you go to my blog post that's connected to the video shortly after the live is done, you'll be able to see exactly what I shared. You won't be able to do that for this one. Sorry. You'll just have to watch the video. That's the privilege, right? Okay, and then this goes down here because I really want to show off the blue flowers. So I'm covering up most of the dark stuff down here. You'll want to look at your words, just like you did when you stamped. You want to look at your words to make sure that they're not tilted. They're going in the right direction. And you can bring it over to the right more or to the left more. You can choose where you put it. Now, does that look to you as if you opened the door and you're going to walk out onto this beautiful meadow? Like the flowers are right there at your door waiting for you. Let's do one last thing. Let's add some embellishments. Here's where I share some news with you. We did have these beautiful in color embellishments. They're called the In Color Pearls for this family of colors. They're sold out. They sold out a while ago, but because they're pearls and because we have these alcohol-based markers that as of yesterday were still available, you can create your own using our iridescent pearls. So you just have to get these pearls here, which will stay. They're not going away. In fact, here, I'll just use up these. my little scraps here. So I've got a couple large, I've got a couple small, a few small. I'll grab my Tahitian Tide, and all of these markers come in pairs. They come in a light and a dark combination. I'm going to use the brush end, and when I take the cap off my markers, I like to use both fingers to push it out and away and not yank it off like this, because you can accidentally tip or fray the end of your brush tip marker if you accidentally do it too hard. And we're just going around, being careful not to push too hard, coloring that one pearl. Let's color a couple of these smaller ones. You could do 2 small, 1 big, or you can do 2 big, 1 small. But I think odd numbers look great. Now on my second set of cards, I did use even. I used 4 pearls instead of 3. So you can tell me what you think is better. Let's grab our paper snips, or here, better yet, our Take Your Pick tool. Our Take Your Pick tool has a picky, little pokey end, a spatula kind of end, and then on this side, it has this little guy here that you just kind of keep smushing into a tacky little ball. It's not looking its best right now, but to crank out more, let's say this gets kind of worn out, you just twist this and tighten it, and you can get more fresh little gooey stuff at the end. So we're going to grab by pushing into the side of this pearl to lift it up. And now it's caught on the end of my tacky little tool. Tacky little tool, that sounds bad. Let's just add a little pearl here, here, and here, and right in the seam. The other one I did not put right in the seam. I'm going to show you that next. Okay, so here is the finished card. It's just, oops, we'll zoom out a bit. It's just really, really simple and really, really elegant, pretty, but wow, like anybody would love to make cards like this, and it's all due to the beautiful papers and the combination of colors. Here's the other version I made. You can see using this paper lightens it up just a little bit, right? You have a different look to it, but all your papers you'll be able to get 3 cards from. If you are a card producer, you like to do gift sets of cards, this would make the perfect gift set of cards. Again, very, very easy to make. Now you're gonna have to forgive me on this next one. So this is Tahitian Tide. That's this color that's leaving. The next color I'm going to show you coordinates with the Sweet Sorbet, and yes, I'm going to miss these colors too. Some of you are talking about how you're going to miss them. Get the blends markers. You can make your ribbons different colors. You can make your embellishments different colors. So definitely invest in these. Invest in the ink pads if they're still available, and the cardstock, especially if you see a color like Parakeet Party that you love and you can't live without. Like I'm so sad about that one. But Sweet Sorbet, ignore the little splotch on here. So I'm not sure what happened, but my blends marker had a little bit of other ink on it. I think it was like a water-soluble ink, because I kept transferring these pearls, and I didn't redo it, I'm sorry. I kept transferring these pearls to different, different card bases. I did it like 2 or 3 times, and then I finally said, fine, that's just the way it is. But I should have just made different pearls, because my Sweet Sorbet marker, I think, has got some tainted little ink on it that I need to get off of there. There's the smudges. My heart will always be tied to yours, thinking of you. You have great sentiments in this stamp set. Lots of variety. It's just a beautiful stamp set. And it actually is available in a bundle. And I think you can only get that bundle, the savings on the bundle, through the end of this month. So if you love Wonderful Thoughts, make sure that you get the dies that go with it too, so that you can die cut those words out. All right, so there's another scene. Same type of idea, same same technique, except just different colors. The next one is Orchid Oasis, and Orchid Oasis is a really like a bluish purple that is just beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that scene looks with the Orchid Oasis. This is the beginning of a life filled with love. Stunning. Here we come to Parakeet Party, and this is where we took that extra layer. I'm finding it here. Hang on. This piece here, remember, this piece is slightly smaller than your card base. And what I did here is I grabbed my, here it is, too big, sorry about that. I grabbed my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, put my platform down, added my embossing folder, which is, I thought on my desk, here it is. It's called Timber, and it's a 3D embossing folder. I always keep my sleeves with my embossing folders because it really helps me to see the embossing, especially as I age. It's nice to have that, not, you know, you can tell, you can get more of a better idea than looking at this clear folder. So my eyes are going, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna emboss this, and basically you just, it's a 3D one, so you're just gonna lay it on platform number 1, the seam part of your embossing folder into the rollers, and then instead of using cutting mats or the die adapter, you're gonna bring in your gray plate, and that also comes with the machine. You'll lay that on top, line up everything, feed it in straight, and when it comes out, do you guys remember brass templates? Oh my gosh, all of a sudden that came to my mind. Brass templates, back in the day, that's how we added texture to our beautiful papers. True story, my sister used brass templates on all of her wedding invitations. All of them. It's a lot. I helped her. It's a lot of work because you're using a stylus tool and you're going in. Oh, yay, some of you are commenting. All right, so here we go. Beautiful little layer there, and I added that before I added my top layers. So here is where the 5 1/4 inch comes into play. You're going to trim it down a bit, right? Now, what's up on dimensionals? On these first 3 cards, I added the sentiment that was stuck together onto itself. These 2 layers are stuck together with seal or glue, but then I added the sentiment with dimensionals. On this one, I did 2 areas of dimensionals. So there's actually a dimensional on each corner of the embossed layer to give it a little lift, but because the dimensionals are here, 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 and here, and my other dimensionals are here, it's not going to be 2 dimensionals high when I mail it. It's going to stay flat enough. The only issue are the pearls, and if you put a piece of cardstock over the top before you mail it, it protects those pearls or embellishments from moving around too much. You probably still need to have a non-machinable stamp to be safe and to protect the machines at the post offices, but just know that that will protect your pearls from moving around. So there we go. Beautiful, right? I love it with that texture in the background. And then the last one, okay, so that was Parakeet Party, my favorite green that's leaving. And then the last one is using Starry Sky. So again, this beautiful paper pairs nicely with the Outgoing In Colors if you want to grab up supplies to make similar cards. So that is that set. Now let's move on to the next set. The next set of cards uses the white card base. It uses the designer papers called Thoughtful Journey. So now I'm introducing you to a bunch of new product that, unless you're a demonstrator or unless you're getting the starter kit now or whatever, you can't get this stuff until May 1st, okay? This is another set of beautiful papers, and I'll just breeze through them here. Thoughtful Journey, gorgeous. You even have, like, I mean, you could send these for masculine cards, you guys. You know what I mean? They're just stunning. So we're going to take one that has the trees. We'll just take one of these. And we'll set these papers aside. And we'll trim this up with my trimmer. And we can trim it again here. We could trim it here. Or we could even trim it, you know what I mean? So you could get all those different scenes. So every one of these, again, you just adjust where your circle sentiment section is going to be. Stunning DSP. That is so true, right, Sherry? Okay, so let's take our piece that we've got here, and now we're going to cut it to size. And this is where you want to determine your size first before you finish your card. If you are going to have an embossed layer, this is going to get cut down to 5¼ inches. If you're not, it's going to go to 5½ inches. So we'll go to 5½. And then we're going to bring in a different type of way of layering. So let's flip it over. Let's add our seal adhesive. And we're doing our seal adhesive right up to the edge, on each of the long edges, okay? So we've got our adhesive on there. And this is where I would recommend the seal adhesive, okay? Use the seal adhesive. You're gonna have the best result when you add fabric to something. Using tape works a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna lay our ribbon down nice and flat. And I like to stretch it with my hands, not stretch it, but stretch it so it's straight. I should just say hold it so it's straight, because you're not really, this isn't a ribbon where you're actually getting any kind of give, having any give to it. So there, now I've added it to my paper so that I have an even amount all the way down, because I held it in 2 different places. If your fingers aren't that long, you can take and put like something heavy at one end and then hold it with the other end. And this is not my ribbon scissors. Hang on. I like to use my sharper scissors for any ribbon fabric type stuff because it cuts a lot cleaner. And this side here, cut off that. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. So again, you can hold it down. You can hold one end with something heavy and then take the other end and just hold it straight like that. And because it's this, fabric ribbon, you can pull it off and readjust it. Trim and trim. And if you get really good, if you're cranking out a bunch of these, you won't have these tiny little pieces of ribbon. You won't get hardly any waste at all. I've made several cards with this same kind of style. And you can just go like boom, boom, boom. And you have no waste of ribbon. It's awesome. So that's another way of adding layers, and this is using our new bordered ribbons. So we have new in colors, and those in colors are going to be found in the new publication and in our online store. This is our new catalog. It is the 2020, what year are we? 24 through 25 annual catalog. It looks like this. I didn't even notice this glossy surface until someone pointed it out to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So here are the in colors. I can't open the catalog yet, it's not May 1st, but I want to show you just all the in colors at a glance. We have Petunia Pop, which is what I just used. That was voted most popular at our recent onstage convention in March. We have Summer Splash, which came in 2nd place. I think that's my favorite of the 5, although I'm in love with all of them. We have Peach Pie. So pumpkin pie and peach pie are going to go great together, and they really do. They look great side by side. Pretty in Pink and Shy Shamrock. If you want to see these colors compared to current and past colors, you'll want to check out my video where I do a color comparison, and it was just a few weeks ago. I will try to put that link in the description of my video. I don't have that in there right now, but I'll try to do that. So we're looking at Petunia Pop because that's the one we just worked with. We're going to add that to our card base directly. So let's grab our seal adhesive. And you can go right on the back side of the ribbon if you want to, to really hold it down. I would go in the middle too. Add a lot of adhesive because you're working with fabric. The greens do seem to be similar if you call them both greens. I actually call this one a blue, but it does have more of a greenish tinge to it, right? It's kind of aqua-like, and it goes with Coastal Cabana really, really well, just so you know. A card that I'm creating for my card swap, and this one we're going to put on the other side, sorry. I have a card swap coming up because my son and I are going to Mexico on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip, and I signed up for the card swap, so I'm going to be getting cards from other achievers, bringing them back to show you. And while I'm on the trip, which is just in like a week and a half we leave, in about 2 weeks you're going to see a blog post of the card that I made it for the swap, and I'm just so excited about it. It's a fun fold because I love fun folds, and so yeah, You'll have to check it out. But that one's using Coastal Cabana and Summer Splash together. And you can barely see the difference, but it's going to make a really great look to your ocean scenes where you see a lighter shade in the distance and a darker shade in the foreground. So here we have that added. I put it on the other side this time. Now we're going to grab some more scrap white. Here we go. And our punch. And again, we have more new products. Let me introduce you to the stamp set called Unbounded Love. Look at the fonts on this. Just stunning. And there's a ton of stamps. These are not true to size. When you open it up, the images are actually larger than that. You can see here. Here's the F and here's the FC. They enlarge. They get bigger. We're going to be using the one that says Happy Birthday. And I'm demonstrating this one for you because I really wanted to make a birthday card when I first designed. This was the first one I designed, and then I went crazy and did them on all the colors. But I did this card to make a happy birthday card for someone and thought to myself after where is it? Here it is. After I stamped on my original die cut piece, which I should have done the other one now in hindsight, but we're just going to go with this. It kind of extended beyond where this portion is. If you look at the other dies in that set, what you get in here are 12 different dies. And you have 2 really large ones, and then you go to the next size, and you have 2 next size down. Do you see how they're shifting? I don't have one in between these, but that one is this one and this one. And then the one in between these two is this one and the one I just used. Here it is. This one. Okay. And then the one in between these is this one, and then these two. So you get 2 of every size, but not in every design. This has kind of a stitched little sunray look to it, right? It's going out, little lines going out. And this one has kind of a Morse code, dash and a dot, a dash and a dot, and a dash and a dot all the way around. And then this one has more of like a floral little design, kind of like little petals. So the petal one is the one I actually used on my first sample. But again, we're not copying them, I guess. Rachel just wants to do something different today, I guess. Okay, we're going to use Mossy Meadow. And I chose Mossy Meadow just because it's the dark green that shows up in all of the papers really well. Or most of the papers, I should say. We're inking it up. We're going to stamp it down. And you can see the wording goes a little bit beyond on the die cut shape. I chose one of the bigger sentiments in the stamp set for doing this. I'll hold it up a little bit. You can it goes into the stitching a bit. I chose one of the bigger sentiments because again, I was using a happy birthday, or I was making a happy birthday card. So when I did it on the one that has the petal outline, it just looked like it was lost. And that's when I said, oh, what if I layer it tone on tone onto a larger white circle? I'll still have that stitched look. It'll show up really well, but it won't look as lost. It'll look like the shape is bigger with just some stitching or just some petals in the middle. So get into it. Here it is. Let's put this on here quickly. And then I'll introduce you to the card, and then I'll introduce you to the embellishments I used, and then I'm going to show you the PDF that you can print off, because normally I show that in the beginning. So on this one here, I would probably stick it right about there. We have a very whimsical type of font here where I don't have anything straight or whatever, so I do have some leeway for twisting and turning. That card turned into this card. So this card has the beautiful embellishments on there. Those embellishments are called the Shimmer Gems for 2024 through 26, and they come in all 5 colors. There's the Petunia Pop at the top there. How did you miss them on your pre-order? Ananda is a demonstrator, and she missed getting these spotlight dies. Yeah, I don't know. How did you miss it? The punch I'm using is 2 3/8 inch. That's the punch size back here. So the shimmer gems just have that real subtle shimmer in them, really pretty, right? So now you can see, if I was just to have that die by itself, do you see how the words kind of start getting lost against the edge? So you don't want to have a darker color under there if that happens to be the case. Like if you want to stamp this on that size die, it's too big or it's too small of a die for the words. But if you layer it, you give the illusion, white on white, you give the illusion that that circle is bigger and it fits a lot better. You can put inside sentiments on these cards too. I'm not doing that for demonstration purposes, but again, both these sets have lots to choose from. I keep forgetting to put the name of my website up there at stampyourartout.com. You can visit and you can click on the shop button. Oops, that's not it. There it is. You can click on the shop button and it will take you to purchasing. Otherwise, when this live is done in a few, like 30 minutes or so, I will have the link to my blog post, which is right now, currently in the description of the YouTube video, accessible. You're going to click on that link at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, and you'll be able to access the PDF that I'm going to show you now. You'll also be able to see all of these products, and all but the new ones are clickable and shoppable right now. So let's go to the PDF. That's what I told you we were going to do next, right? So here we go. We're going to take a peek at that. And you can see that all 10 cards, so I'm going to show you the rest of this set right now, but all 10 of them, 5 of one set of colors and the other 5 are up there on the PDF for you to see. The title is up there, the date is up there, all the supplies that are currently clickable are clickable and listed, and then we have measurements per card. Okay, again, you'll be able to print this PDF off. Let's go back to the desktop. And let's take a peek at the other cards that I did. So, trying to find where I left the other ones. I want to make sure I show them all to you, you guys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of that set. Okay. Got to show them all at the end. That's what I do. All right, here's the next one. Oh, my face is gone. Hi, I'm here. Sorry about that. For anybody who's reading lips, I am so sorry. I did not mean to disappear. Here we have the other cards. This is done in the Pretty in Pink colors, and you can see the Pretty in Pink bordered ribbon, another scene from that beautiful paper, another sentiment from that beautiful stamp set. These all come from that same stamp set, okay? So Unbounded Love, and what was the set of dies again? Spotlight on Nature, okay. And then the pink shimmer gems. And then we have, and I'm going to set this here so you can see them kind of. And then we have this card. This is done with the peach pie items. So even though, oh, this is what I wanted to tell you. Even though the colors are not necessarily listed in the back of the paper package, because that's what Stampin' Up! Does. They list the coordinating colors. Not all of these colors are listed. But because it's a watercolor design and you have colors flow together when the artist is creating them, you can see other colors in there that might not be listed on there. I also found Shy Shamrock in there. There's Shy Shamrock right in this greenish blue combination here. And then we have this color here, my favorite, Summer Splash, the darker Coastal Cabana look, right? Just gorgeous. And there's a hint of it right in through here. Do you see this embossing folder? That's another new item. So these two have embossing folder backgrounds done with the So Swirly embossing folder. Take a peek at this. This is the difference between the sizes, you guys. We now are releasing some larger embossing folders. I'm so excited about this. Okay. Let's put these all out here so you can see them all. And then we're going to talk about prizes. I don't think I have any other news. Oh, I do. I have opened up a new area of my shop area on my blog. So if you're not familiar with my blog, oops. Let's shove these together more. My head is in the way. If you're not familiar with my website, it has a blog area. So let's go there right now. We're going to go over here. Hang on. I'm doing something. Hang on. Okay. There. Now we're ready to bring you over. Okay, so this is my website, stampyourartout.com. And when you're there, oops, did it go there? Okay, this is what it looks like when you first get there. You can either go under Home and click on Blog. You can go down here and click on Blog. You can go down here and see the latest blog posts. But what was I telling you about? Oh, I know. On this latest blog post, April 15th, the one right before today's will go live, at the very bottom, I mentioned that I have some kits available. You guys are going to think I'm weird, but I have had kits piling up, I guess, well, since Paper Pumpkin first began, but I would bring them to craft fairs and I would have in-person events. In 2018, I went completely online. I stopped doing craft fairs, but I continued to get the same number of kits. And I help out those of my subscribers when they might be missing a kit. So that's always handy. But I decided I can't keep doing that. I can't keep piling up all these kits. I had tons of kits, you guys. My husband said to me, what are we going to do with all these? I said, okay, let's do it. So we set up an area in my my blog here. It says right here, it's a new storefront on my website. And basically to get there, it's shop. And then you go to the tutorials section, which is right here. So shop, go to tutorials, kits and retired products. I can only sell products to those who live in the US, by the way. So sorry for those of you that don't. But you can see here that there are pages of kits. These are full kits. They have the stamps and the ink in them. And they are from a while back, as you can see. You keep scrolling through it and you might find one that you've been looking for. I would gladly love to get rid of my stash. I know that's weird to say, but I don't need them. I don't do craft fairs or in-person events anymore. And if you're looking for these, they are available. They became available on the 15th. Today is the 17th. Things are selling. People are seeing them. So I invite you to shop that area. All right. That's what I want to talk about there. Oops, hang on. Okay, I'm back to my desktop. And we need to do prizes. So I'm going to move these things aside and we're going to bring in last week's. What were they? I'm going to go to my little cheat sheet thing here on my computer. I'm trying to remember. Every week I forget to pull this up and then I have to guess. Okay, last week the prize was, I got it. It's down here on the floor. Okay, we had a kit that was left over and a twine pack. Okay, let me show. Oh, I did show them to you. Just now I showed them to you. Okay, here they are. So these are the prizes available to our last two winners. And our last two winners are, let me bring you back to my computer screen. On YouTube, our After Live winner was Old Mill CJC1. So congratulations. If that is your name, your YouTube name, will you please reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net so that you can claim which prize you want. The second person to be called is Sharon Wright. She was the winner on Facebook. And again, reach out to me at my email address. That is the best way to do it. And then you can pick your prize. The first person who comes to me gets the prize. For this week, I have, and I didn't bring out my other adhesive. I have adhesives. This week is adhesives. So you get this and you get a little glue, a thing of glue. Now it has been open and slightly used, only slightly used because it was used at an event that we had recently. So the Tombow glue is only slightly used. There's a lot in there, but the dimensional pack is unused. It's an unopened dimensional pack. So I'm going to go back to my comments here and see who Trisha has called out, and we're going to bring those prize names up on there. Now, do you see the email? Remember the email. It's stampyourartout@comcast.net. And I'm just going to scroll through to see if she has announced. She probably has. We time it. It's hard to time because we have, there's like a 30-second difference, I think, on some of this. Anyways, she's going to announce them soon. Then I'll chime in and tell you the names for those of you that aren't seeing the comments. And again, reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. Let me see if there's any other any other news things that I want to tell you about. There are some slight price increases because of inflation. So you'll want to check out my latest blog posts and scroll down. In the last chance section, you will be able to take and click in an area where it will give you a PDF. Mary Fish, fellow demonstrator Mary Fish, created this, which is a nice, helpful resource. Yes, our winners are Beth and Barbie. We have people with just one name, short names today, right? So congratulations, Beth and Barbie. You are the winners for this live. Yay! Yes, Deborah Clark chimed in saying congratulations. Barb loves that dimensionals are the prize. Pamela's saying congrats. We have lots of comments rolling in. You guys are so good to each other. And thank you for joining me today. I think that's all that I have to share. I'm looking. I think that's it. We covered it all. Yay. Thank you guys. Come back next week. I have a very fun live plan for you on Wednesday. And make sure, again, that you're subscribed to my channel, because then you get notifications of when I go live, because it's not always just Wednesdays. Sometimes I post videos throughout the week. On other days, typically Friday, Saturday, or Sunday are my other days. And then sometimes those are lives instead of just pre-recorded videos. But you'll want to make sure that you're subscribed. Thumbs up, that shows that you liked my video. I appreciate that too. Comment in the afterlive. You get chances to win for the afterlive drawing for next week's live. So continue. If you didn't see it all, go back and watch and add a comment below. I will get the winners added to my blog post. Again, that information will be in the attached link that's in the YouTube description right now. I'm bringing that description over to Facebook. So those of you on Facebook that watch this video can go back in about 5 minutes and be able to access the link for the blog post. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Lisa and Trisha and all of you. I enjoy you so much. I think that's it. So I'm going to sign off now. That's it. All right. Take care, everybody. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.